You've wasted enough time. They laughed. They doubted. They wrote you off. And maybe you started to believe them. That you weren't good enough. That life was always going to stay this way. That the pain was permanent. That dreams were just fairy tales for other people. But now it's time to get serious. Because no one is coming to save you. No one's handing you a shortcut. This is on you. You don't need more motivation. You need action daily. Consistent. Unstoppable. You're not doing it to prove them wrong. You're doing it to prove yourself right. Because deep down, you know there's more in you. You know you were made for more than comfort. More than fear. More than average. So stop saying, "Oh day." Stop telling everyone your plans. In sweat. In results. Cut the distractions. Kill the excuses. Stop crying and start working. This is the version of you they'll never see coming. The one who doesn't complain. The one who doesn't need applause. The one who gets it done. Let them talk. Let them doubt. While you ground. While you build. While you rise. And when you make it, you won't need to say a word. Your success will speak the loudest. You've wasted enough time. And you know it. Deep down you feel it. That pit in your stomach, that quiet voice reminding you that the hours, the days, the months, they've slipped through your fingers like sand. How many mornings did you say, "Tomorrow I'll start"? How many nights did you whisper, "Next week I'll change"? But tomorrow never came. Next week never came. And here you are, still stuck, still distracted, still hiding behind fake urgency and empty words. It's not that you didn't have potential. You had more than enough. It's that you didn't get serious. You let comfort win. You let scrolling win. You let other people's opinions win. You kept telling yourself you had time, like time was guaranteed. But time doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause for your pain. It doesn't stop while you sit there waiting for the right moment. There is no perfect moment. There never was. You either take the moment or it leaves you behind. And now you've got two choices. You can stay on this path, wake up another year from now, still behind, still talking, still regretting. Or you can make today the line in the sand. The day you say, enough. Enough waiting, enough wasting, enough pretending. Because every second you hesitate, someone else is getting stronger. Someone else is learning, grinding, moving forward. While you're still deciding whether you're ready, you're not late. But you're almost out of time. So make it count. All of it. No more distractions. No more delays. It's time to stop existing and start rising. You've wasted enough time. Don't waste another breath. They doubted you. They laughed behind your back. They looked at you like a joke. Like you'd never become anything. Like you were just another dreamer wasting time. They looked at your pain and dismissed it. They saw your struggle and used it as proof that you'd never rise. And after a while, something worse happened. You started to believe them. That's the dangerous part. Not their judgment, not their noise, but the moment you begin to absorb it. The moment you let their opinions get loud enough to drown out your own belief. That voice inside you, the one that used to say, "I was made for more," got quieter. And instead you heard, "Maybe they're right. Maybe you really aren't good enough. Maybe you won't make it." But stop, right there. That belief. That isn't yours. It was planted in you. Injected by people who gave up on their own dreams. Passed down by people too afraid to chase greatness, so they mocked yours instead. Their doubt isn't your truth. Their opinion isn't your future. They don't know the fire that still burns inside you. They don't know the nights you stayed up wrestling with your purpose. They don't know the sacrifices you've made just to survive. And they don't have to. You don't need their approval. You don't need their understanding. You don't need them to believe. You just need to remember who the hell you are. You've come too far to turn back now. You've been through storms that would have crushed them. You've bled, you've broken, but you're still standing. And that alone makes you dangerous. That alone makes you different. So let them doubt. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Because one day it'll come, they'll have to watch you rise. In that moment, that's when you'll realize they never mattered at all. No one is coming to save you. Read that again. Let it hit. Because for too long you've been waiting. Waiting for someone to give you a break, someone to notice your pain, someone to reach down and pull you out of the hole. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud: you're all you've got. The responsibility is on you now. Not your parents. Not your friends. Not your past. Not your circumstances. It doesn't matter who hurt you. It doesn't matter how unfair life has been. It doesn't even matter how hard your journey is compared to theirs. What matters is what you do now. Right now. Because if you keep waiting on something or someone to rescue you, you'll be waiting forever. Nobody's going to hand you the life you want. Nobody's going to sit you down and say, "Here's your breakthrough." It doesn't work like that. Life doesn't reward the ones who sit still and hope. It rewards the ones who move, even when everything hurts. You are responsible for your healing. You are responsible for your rise. You are responsible for your hunger, your hustle, your habits, your grind. And yeah, it's unfair. But life never promised fair. It promised opportunity, and it's buried deep under pain, under discipline, under silence, under repetition, under discomfort. That's where the great ones are born. So stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming the past. Stop thinking you're owed anything. You're not. And that's what makes this powerful. Because it means your comeback, your success, your transformation is in your hands. You get to build this. You get to earn it. You get to own it. It's time to stop being the victim of your life story. It's time to take the pen and write the next chapter yourself. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's your freedom. You don't need more motivation, that's the lie. That's the trap. Waiting around for another spark, another speech, another perfect sunrise to make you feel ready. But let me ask you something real. How many times have you felt motivated and still did nothing? How many times have you been fired up at night, full of energy, full of vision, only to wake up and fall back into the same routine, the same distractions, the same excuses? Motivation is a moment. Action is what changes your life. Motivation might get you started once or twice. It might light a little fire under you for an hour a day, but it fades every single time because motivation is a feeling. And feelings are liars. They come and go depending on the weather, on your sleep, on the mood you're in. But action is a decision. It doesn't wait to feel ready. It doesn't care if it's raining, if you're tired, or if the world is against you. Action shows up every day. You want to win? Then stop depending on emotion. Because the real winners in this world, they move without feeling it. They work when they're tired. They train when they're broken. They show up when no one's watching. Not because they're motivated, but because they made a choice. And that's what you need now. A decision. Not a burst of energy, not a quick dopamine hit. You need to decide who you want to become and then build the habits that match that vision. Brick by brick, step by step, day by day. Even on the days when you feel nothing move. Even when your mind tells you to stop, go. Because every small act of discipline is a vote for the person you're becoming. And that version of you, they don't need motivation, they live in motion. Discipline is more powerful than desire. Because desire comes and goes, but discipline stays. Desire is emotional. It's the high you feel when you watch someone succeed, the goosebumps from a speech, the temporary rush of, I want this. But that rush dies. And when it does, you'll either fall back into the same cycle, or you'll keep moving, powered by something stronger, discipline. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you had a long day. It doesn't care if nobody believes in you. Discipline shows up every single time. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they only work when they feel like it. But feelings are unreliable. They'll betray you. Discipline never will. You think the great ones always felt motivated. You think they jumped out of bed excited every day. Hell no. They had days they wanted to quit too. But they didn't. Because they weren't chasing a mood, they were locked into a mission. They trained when it was boring. They studied when it was lonely. They kept going when it felt pointless. Because they knew real success is built in the dark. In the silence, in the repetition. In the discipline. You say you want it. Then prove it when it's hard. Prove it when you're drained. Prove it when no one's watching. Because anyone can grind when they're inspired. Only the disciplined grind when they're exhausted, when they're doubting, when they're bleeding. Discipline is the difference between talking about it and becoming it. You want transformation. Then build systems, not just goals. Stick to the plan, not just the feeling. Make it non-negotiable. Wake up, show up, and get it done. No matter what. This isn't about hype. This is about habits. And the ones who master their discipline, they don't need hype anymore. They work in silence. Let your results make the noise. Because these days, everybody's talking, posting their plans, sharing their dreams, telling the world what they're going to do, writing the story before they've lived the chapters. But listen closely, talk is cheap. You don't need to announce your grind, you need to live it. Let them wonder where you went. Let them question your absence. Let them assume you disappeared. And when they least expect it, you show them everything. Not with words, not with updates, but with results. Silence is your edge. It keeps them sleeping on you. Because while they're watching each other, comparing, clapping for nothing, you're building, quietly, relentlessly, brick by brick, in the dark. No need for attention. No need for validation. Just you. And the work. Because the loudest people are usually the weakest. They're more focused on being seen than being ready. But you're different. You're not here to be seen. You're here to be remembered. And that starts when you stop telling everyone your moves and just move. There's something powerful about a quiet storm. The kind no one sees coming. No warnings. No noise. Just impact. When your success walks into the room, it should shock them. They should look at you and think, where the hell did that come from? And all you'll say is, I was working while you were watching. Because when you work in silence, you own your power. You protect your energy. You starve your ego. And you build something real, something solid. Something permanent. So disappear. Not because you're running away, but because you run ahead. Go quiet. Go focused. And let your legacy do the talking. Consistency is non-negotiable. Not exciting. Not flashy. Not Instagram worthy. But it's the most powerful weapon you'll ever hold. You can have the greatest talent in the world, the strongest motivation, the boldest dreams. But if you can't stay consistent, none of it will matter. Because greatness doesn't come from intensity, it comes from repetition. Everybody can be disciplined for a day. Everybody can show up for a week. But the ones who make it, they show up every single day. When it's raining. when they're sore, when they're tired, when they're overwhelmed, because consistency doesn't ask how you feel. It just asks if you're serious. And this is where most people quit. Not because it's too hard, but because it's too boring. Because it doesn't feel like progress. Because they want fast results, instant recognition, quick rewards. But that's not how real success works. It's built in the silence, in the mundane, in the grind that nobody claps for. It's waking up at the same time, training with the same fire, repeating the same systems. Day after day after day, no audience, no applause, just you versus you. And yeah, it's exhausting, because you won't always see the growth right away. You won't always feel like you're moving forward. But that's the test. The discipline to keep going even when it feels like nothing's changing. Because it is. Every rep, every routine, every decision is shaping you, quietly, permanently. The ones who win are never the ones who start the fastest. They're the ones who don't stop. They master the boring, they dominate the routine. They do the work when it's hard, when it's thankless, when it's lonely. So stop chasing the high. Chase the habit. Chase the daily win. Because if you can be consistent when it's quiet, you'll be unstoppable when it's loud. You're not average, so stop acting like it. Stop lowering your standards to fit in with people who gave up on themselves. Stop shrinking your vision to make others feel comfortable. You weren't born to be ordinary. You weren't put on this earth to coast, to blend in, to follow the crowd and fade into the background. But that's what happens when you stop believing in who you really are. That's what happens when you settle. And you know it, you feel it, every time you ignore that inner fire, every time you take the easy route, every time you make decisions that don't align with who you know you could be. And still you play small. Why? Because being different is uncomfortable. Because excellence is lonely. Because when you start to rise, you threaten the comfort zones of everyone around you. And instead of pushing forward, you pull back. You sabotage your own potential just to stay safe. But what has playing it safe ever done for you? What has mediocrity ever given you but regret? This isn't about arrogance. It's about truth. It's about calling yourself out. Because deep down, you know you've been holding back. You've been giving half effort, living half awake, pretending that good enough is acceptable. It's not. You weren't built for average. Your soul knows it. That's why you're restless. That's why you feel the discomfort, even when everything looks fine on the surface. Because there's a voice inside you screaming for more. More discipline. More focus. More fight. But more isn't given to average. It's earned by the exceptional. So stop acting like you've got time to waste. Stop comparing yourself to people who don't even want what you want. Stop living like you've got unlimited chances. You get one shot at this. One, and average, it should offend you. This life, it demands your greatness, not your excuses, not your doubts, not your watered down version. So step up and act like you were born to lead, not follow. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them laugh. That's their job. That's all they know how to do. They'll mock your ambition. They'll roll their eyes at your discipline. They'll throw shade when you start changing. Because when people see someone rising, it threatens a part of them that never tried. It reminds them of what they gave up on. And instead of doing the work to fix themselves, they try to tear you down to their level. Let them, because your job is not to explain. Your job is not to convince. Your job is to outwork every single one of them. You don't need their validation. You don't need them to understand your vision. You don't need to argue, defend, or seek approval. You just need to keep moving. Outwork them in the silence. Outwork them in the pain. Outwork them when no one's watching. While they're running their mouths, you're building. While they're wasting time, you're investing yours. While they're laughing at your small beginnings, you're laying the foundation of something they'll never be able to touch. You know what's better than revenge? Results. Real, undeniable, unstoppable results. That's how you respond. You don't clap back. You climb past. You don't get even. You elevate. Because when the results start to show, they'll go quiet. The same mouths that talk behind your back will be forced to speak your name with respect. And when that day comes, and it will, don't say a word. Don't gloat. Don't flex. Don't drop your level to theirs. Just keep going. Because real power is silent. It doesn't need to be loud. It shows up in presence and energy in the fact that nothing they threw at you could stop you. Let them doubt. Let them talk. And while they do, you work. You grind, you rise, you become everything they said you couldn't. Let success be your final statement. Not your words. Not your comebacks. Not your explanations, your success. That's the mic drop. That's the moment when everything you endured, everything you built, everything they questioned finally stands tall in front of them and speaks louder than you ever could. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't owe the world an explanation for why you disappeared. You don't have to justify your dreams. You don't have to defend your grind. Because when you truly win, when you rise beyond the noise, beyond the excuses, beyond the limits, they'll know. And they'll remember that you didn't say much, you just became it. That's the beauty of moving in silence. People forget you were even working. They write you off. They think you're gone. And then one day, boom, you show up unrecognizable. Stronger, sharper, more focused, more dangerous. And they're left with nothing to say. Because success doesn't need defending, it is the defense. It's easy to talk about the grind. It's easy to act like you're on the path. But it's different when you live it so deeply, so consistently, so relentlessly that your life transforms. That's when people stop asking questions. Because they see it in your posture, they hear it in your silence, they feel it when you walk into a room. Your results become your story. The discipline you showed in the dark becomes the light they can't ignore. The growth they couldn't see becomes the wall they can't climb over. And the best part, you won't have to say a single word. Because the person you become, that will be the loudest thing you've ever said. You were never here to be liked. You were here to leave no doubt. Let the results speak. Let the transformation speak. Let your success shut every door they tried to close on you. So now what? You've heard the truth. You've felt the fire. But the fire means nothing if you walk away unchanged. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Right now. It's time to stop wishing. It's time to stop talking. It's time to get serious. Because the version of you that wins, they're already inside you. But you'll never meet them unless you grind for them. So lock in. Discipline over comfort. Silence over show. Work over words. And when it's all said and done, don't tell them what you did. Make sure they feel it. Make sure they remember your name. Not because you shouted it, but because your success left no room to ignore it. Now go. Show them all.